Shields up, Paladins, and welcome to an Overwatch Hero Guide. As you can tell by the title of this video, I will be talking to you all about Hanzo and how I like to use this particular character. Hanzo is one of the damage roll characters within Overwatch, as well as he has 200 health. Now with all this being said and done, let's go ahead and jump right on over to his abilities and his weapon. Now his first ability that I'm going to talk about is his passive ability, which is simply called Wall Climb. Now the movement speed for Wall Climb is a 7.15 meters per second, which is a vertical, and the max range is up to 4 meters for a vertical wall climb. Now going over to his weapon, which is called Storm Bow. The type is Arching Projectile. The damage is 27.2 to 125 depending on the charge. Spread angle is pinpoint. The movement speed is negative 30%. Projectile speed is 25 to 110. Rate of fire is up to a 0.75 seconds to charge and 0.5 second recovery. You have infinite ammo with the bow, as well as you can receive headshots with this weapon. And Hanzo can also undraw by pressing the reload key on whatever system you're playing on. Now his first ability that we're going to get into, which is called Sonic Arrow. Now the description of this is Hanzo launches an arrow that contains a sonar tracking device. Any enemy within the detection radius is visibly marked, making them easier for Hanzo and his allies to hunt down. Now the type is an Arching Projectile. Area of effect is a 9-meter radius. The duration is 6 seconds and the cooldown is 12 seconds. Now pressing the ability key turns the next arrow from Storm Bow to Storm Arrows into a Sonic Arrow. This does not change the speed or the damage. Pressing the key again before firing changes it back. And if the arrow becomes stuck on a moving target, for an example, an enemy hero, the effect will follow that particular target, as if you hit a Reinhardt or if you hit a Roadhog. But if it's Reinhardt, you have to make sure that it's not on his shield. If he then releases his shield, that arrow will basically drop to the floor instead of staying on Reinhardt himself. Now his next ability is Storm Arrow. Now the description of that is Hanzo's next several arrows fire instantly, but at reduced damage. Now the type is an Arching Projectile. The damage is 60. Spread point or spread angle is pinpoint. Projectile speed is 110 meters per second. The rate of fire is 1 shot per 0.3 seconds, or 3.33 shots per second. You have up to 5 rounds per magazine. Their duration is up to 5 seconds, and the cooldown is up to 10 seconds. And you can also receive headshots with Storm Arrow. Now Storm Arrow travels at the same speed as a fully charged Storm Bow arrows. So do keep that in mind, that you can stay a little bit back if you want to. They're going to travel the same distance, or the same speed rather, as a fully charged shot. Now his next ability is simply called Lunge. Hanzo can double jump, allowing him to change direction mid-jump. So the movement speed is 15 meters per second, which is horizontal. Max range is 7.85 meters, and the cooldown is 5 seconds. And finally, his ultimate ability, which is called Dragon Strike. And again, once again, the description is Hanzo summons a spirit dragon, which travels the air in a line. It passes through walls in its way, devouring any enemy that it encounters. Now, if you do change his skin to one of the first legendary skins that he had, I believe is called Lone Wolf or something like that, the dragons will actually change to a wolf instead of a dragon. So that's kind of something else to let you all know about there. Now the type for his ultimate is a projectile, which is the initial shot. Then it will turn to an area of effect, which is the dragons. So the damage that it does will be the arrow itself does 125, the dragons does 150 per second. Per dragon does up to 993.6 damage against a stationary target. projectile speed is 20 meters per second. Max range is an infinite travel distance. The area of effect is a 4-meter radius. The rate of fire is 1.5 seconds for the charge. The casting time is a 0.9 seconds charging, 0.6 seconds for the arrow before the arrow becomes dragons. Now you can get a headshot with the arrow itself, but not with the dragons. And also the ultimate cost is 1,680 points. Now Hanzo passively generates 1% ult charge for every 3.36 seconds. This does not damage deployed objects such as turrets. If shot directly at the target, and the target is still, the damage will last for 3.33 seconds. The hitbox is actually both dragons, meaning that the ultimate will deal less damage at its edges, and it will be combined at the center. So pretty much what that's pretty much meaning is that if you're on the outside of the dragons, or the wolves for that matter, and not near the center, you're only going to get a little nick on the damage. You're not going to get the full experience of the damage there. But of course, if you are closer to the center, you will get the combined damage of both dragons. And this does not drain nor interrupt storm arrows after that. So, the kind of the way that I would like to use Hanzo, really, in my personal opinion, Hanzo is a medium range sniper and has a very, very, very strong team utility and area denial abilities that he has currently with him. The relatively silent and hard to see nature of his arrows makes him a very stealthy sniper. Stealthier sniper considered to be than Widowmaker, in my personal opinion, just because his shots, you can kind of you're able to pretty much get kills and retreat before the enemy sees him. Now, one of the downsides that he has, in my personal opinion, is the lack of aim. Now, of course, once you get used to how Hanzo shoots and kind of where you need to aim for most characters for a headshot, then that does get a little bit easier down the road. But that's more of a expert style shot than anything. You know, you can also dial that shot in by going over to the training area. There is one spot that you can use, and it goes back every 100 meters, I think. So you can kind of, if you're struggling to try to hit somebody with Hanzo, you can go there to kind of dial in your shot a little bit better. So, but even if you're just kind of picking him just to be picking him, that I would say that's one of his biggest downsides, is that compared to Widowmaker, he's got poor aim with the bow at long range, often requiring him to get dangerously close to the opponents to actually hit his target, which then puts him right there in the middle with like a Reaper or a McCree for that matter. So that would be one of the things that I'll say that's probably the worst thing with Hanzo. But as I said earlier, if you kind of get your headshots down, then you can zip in and out there real quickly, and and try to get out of there. Most of the time, people don't necessarily target just the Hanzo unless he's a very decent shot. That's really the only time that he gets that he'll get focus fired and down by most tanks or anything like that. Most of the time, it's oh look, there's a Hanzo, take a couple shots, make him go away, that type of thing there. But anyways, that's how I use Hanzo in a nutshell. I like to stay kind of medium range with him. I try not to get right up close and personal with everybody. And I think in this particular videos that you definitely see that there are times that I'm right up close and personal. But again, I use his sonic arrow to help me out to see where the enemy's coming, even though that I know they're probably coming down this one corridor. There's sometimes I like to shoot up, maybe a couple spots where Widowmakers would like to sit, maybe even on us for that matter, just to kind of see, hey, keep an eye up here, just to kind of help the team out. And that's really what Sonic Arrow is supposed to be Now on top of that, you know, I try to stay back, just apply as much damage as I possibly can from a range, and try to take out most of the targets before, you know, before the tanks get up there and get close and personal to them. Well, that's really about Hanzo in a nutshell. So hopefully I answered a lot of questions, comments, concerns. If I did, go ahead and leave a comment down below if there's something that I missed. And if there is, I would definitely like to hear from you guys. Now, with all that being said, hopefully I answered a lot of other questions and stuff like that. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all within the next video.